Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, bootlickers, shills, Dutch lacers, peasants, vassals, minions, meat sacks, assassins. I'm Useful Idiot. Welcome. And here it is. It was not a matter of if, it was a matter of when, and it is here. There was an assassination attempt on former President Trump today, and this is truly, truly a dark day in America. And the fact is, as I mentioned in a couple of videos I did before, 7 years ago I did a video talking about the very fact that a Trump assassination was inevitable because they were creating a pressure cooker with all their rhetoric and all their vitriol and all their hate in the media and amongst the politicians. And here it is 7 years later. And 3 weeks ago I did another video once again saying that there was going to be an assassination attempt on Trump because they created this pressure cooker, and it wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when, and that all this hate and all this vitriol was going to create this. And so I firmly point the finger at Joe Biden for all his hate and vitriol. I firmly point the finger at Hillary Clinton for all her hate and vitriol. And I firmly point the finger at the social media for pandering their hoaxes, their lies, and their censorship. And the biggest finger of all goes, of course, to the liberal media, who've been using an unbelievable array of lies, delusion, misinformation, hate, vitriol, hyperbole, exaggeration, every form of distortion to create this environment that we have now. And an environment that's created where, it was only a matter of time before some lone nut, some liberal nut who gets all worked up by all this kind of rhetoric, goes out and does what we saw today. And I'm also disgusted by going out and just seeing exactly what the liberal reaction was. So I went out on a bunch of liberal pundits' videos, and I saw exactly what I thought to see, and it was horrifying and disgusting, and showed the lowest common denominator with a complete lack of moral compass and utterly deluded and ignorant, talking about too bad the guy missed, and Trump got cut by glass from the teleprompter, and that he deserved it, and better luck next time, and of course always bringing up Agenda 2025, which of course they don't know anything about. They've heard Biden talk about it. They've seen it in the news. They don't know anything about it, but they're banding it about like they're some kind of expert on this. And so the level, once again, the level of delusion and hate and hyperbole and exaggeration and delusion amongst the liberal base in these video comments is truly astonishing, but not unexpected. And then we have the liberal pundits themselves. I've gone out and I haven't trolled anybody for years, but I'm out there pointing out to a lot of these pundits that they are to blame for this. They have blood on their hands. One of the biggest ones out there, Midas Touch, he's one of the worst out there. He has some of the most clickbait, gigantic, hyperbolic headlines there can be, and he has 2.5 million subscribers, and that's where I saw a lot of the comments today. So they have blood on their hands. I don't know how they're going to sleep at night, but I know they're going to rake in the cash, posting 20 videos a day with their Trump derangement syndrome, and then their rodent minions of these liberals that follow those clowns. And I want to go into a little bit more detail about this event today as well, because on the one hand, it could be a lone liberal nut, and there's plenty of them out there now, and anybody that's paying attention can see it. But that was an awfully good shot from a long distance. So my instincts are telling me that it was a deep state operative, it was a CIA, something like that, some kind of spook. And then the fact that predictably the shooter was killed. And wow, deja vu, echoes of Lee Harvey Oswald being shot immediately after the JFK assassination, because dead men tell no tales. So I don't necessarily subscribe to conspiracy theories. I subscribe to conspiracy fact, and the fact that somebody was all set up was able to get into that position, especially with how much security there was, to take a shot from that distance and get so close is quite remarkable. And then the fact that, as we know, there's been legislation by the Democrats to try and remove Secret Service protection, as well as the Mar-a-Lago raid, where the agents were given leeway to use force and shoot to kill if they had any problems. So they've been setting up Trump to be shot either accidentally or purposely for a long time. And of course, today we see that he had Secret Service coverage reduced, but it was still there, and it had a lot to do with protecting him potentially. But once again, we are crossing a Rubicon. I don't know what's going to happen moving forward, but my gut feeling once again is that we have entered the new Civil War. We are there because I guarantee that there's going to be lots of Americans that are going to go out there and kill and be killed as we move forward from this event. And already, rightfully so, the Republican base and Trump supporters are out there blaming the Biden administration for their rhetoric and the media for their rhetoric correctly. And they're going to point the blame at the liberals, and the liberals are going to be in denial and continue blaming everything on Trump, which is certainly misguided at best and completely ridiculous for the most part. But I'm really fearful about what's going to happen moving forward. And of course, one of the other things about this is it was pretty much a guaranteed Trump win 4 months from now anyway, probably by a landslide. But now it absolutely guarantees it. Trump is going to win by a landslide of historic proportions. So once again, everything that the Democrats have done has blown up in their face and completely backfired and done the opposite of what they were intended to do. And this will be that on steroids. And of course, another really sad part of this is now every minute of every day of every month of every year moving forward, Trump is going to have to fear for his life, because we're going to see probably more attempts over the next 4 months. And then once he's elected president, it's going to be hovering over him for the next 4 years. There will be, I would assume, multiple attempts to assassinate Trump moving forward. And once again, it could be a lone nut, or once again, it could be deep state operatives. And so we're going to have to live with that for the next 4 years. And of course, the level of violence that we're going to see moving forward, I was already predicting the fact that we're going to see mass civil unrest a la BLM and Antifa riots during the election cycle last time. We're going to see that on steroids. The day that Trump wins the election, hell is going to be unleashed on the streets of America, and I'm really scared. I'm really nervous about what we're going to see moving forward. Sad to say. And as per the and let's mention too that just several days ago, Biden made that remark about, well, now that the debates are done, it's time to put Trump in a bullseye. And of course, he might have meant that rhetorically, but it still sounds very ominous. And one could certainly see a slight smirk on his face. And just the disingenuousness of it, and the fraud of Biden giving that speech today and talking about what a sick day in America, and he wants to reach out to Trump. It reminds me of the fact that the U.S. government, of course, holds up Martin Luther King as a great icon right now, and they were ones who are responsible for getting him killed. So that's the way it works. They appropriate these martyrs to serve the state, even though these martyrs are generally against the state. So as per the title of my video, I blame everyone else in America except perhaps the shooter, because they are the ones that created this pressure cooker. They are the ones that used all these hoaxes and lies and misinformation and deception and delusion and this hateful rhetoric and all this vitriol and hyperbole and all this talk about an existential threat to democracy, and using the most extreme terms, including all this talk about Nazis and fascism And Trump being the next Hitler has whipped the liberal base and the liberal media into a complete hysteria, a complete mania. They're like religious zealots, just blind to all logic and rationale, and a complete loss of moral compass. So, I blame everyone who's contributed to what we have now, and just a tragic, 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 dark day. And we're going to see things we've never seen before. All I can say is God fucking help us. I'm a useful idiot. Don't you be one too.